Hello everybody, Helldivers 2. Let's get the bullet point stuff out of the way real quick. Number 1, is it worth $40? Yes. Number 2, can you play solo? Yes. I played exclusively solo and I did not run into a single challenge that I couldn't overcome even as I progressed to higher difficulty. Number 3, is it pay to win? Technically I guess, but not really. I'll explain more in just 1 second. Number 4, why does a PvE game have kernel level anti-cheat? So that they can protect people cheesing the premium battle pass unlocks. Number 5, did you just say premium battle pass? Yeah. Now is the time to get into a little more detail, starting with the game's monetization practices. They're garbage. It really is that simple. This is a $40 game that has now the unfortunately industry standard monetization, where you have the option to buy set amounts of premium currency that of course are purposefully and meticulously crafted so that should you want to buy more than one item from the premium cash shop, you'll have to buy 2 or 3 different tiers of that currency, as just buying one bulk amount won't provide you the necessary currency to fulfill all of your purchases. In other words, greed. Same reason for the premium battle pass and the FOMO shop. Greed. And remember, this is all inside of a pay-to-play game. Why, modern gaming? Why? Also, in terms of the pay-to-win that I mentioned, you can spend real money on premium currency to then unlock the premium battle pass and then have access to things like new weapons, armor, and stratagems that each modify your gameplay in some way. However, an important note here is that you still have to unlock those things in the typical battle pass fashion by spending medals that you exclusively earned from gameplay alone. So even if you spend money on the premium pass, you still have to actually play the game to make any use out of it. As I said, that's technically still pay to win. I consider pay to progress faster the same exact thing, but it's honestly not that egregious. I take much larger issue with the monetization scheme as a whole. However, with all that junk out of the way, I do actually recommend that you still pick up this game. For $40, you essentially get what the Starship Troopers game that launched last year should have been. Much tighter gunplay, much better enemy design, much more in-depth progression systems, and much more satisfying overall scale and moment-to-moment gameplay. Having only played about 4 hours thus far, I obviously cannot speak to how much content Helldivers 2 has, but from what it seems, the mission and enemy variety, as well as the boost that they get from raising the difficulty, seem to translate into a very good amount of longevity, especially when playing with your friends. Again, I played exclusively solo, but as with any game really, you'll definitely get more mileage with the boys. The 4 or 5 guns that I've used each felt impactful, and the sound design is absolutely crunchy. Like, oh boy, do I feel like I'm shooting some bullets over here. And the movement is generally buttery smooth. My only issue is the quite horrendous delay between firing and being able to sprint again. It's almost like a full second, which means smoothly kiting enemies that get into melee range is near impossible. You're better off just full-blown sprinting away and repositioning, which is a little bit of an issue when the enemies are designed to swarm you. Other than that, the shooting mechanics are actually solid as heck. I was a bit on the fence when I first started playing, but after about 30 minutes, I got used to the gun sway and it was all smooth sailing after that. Speaking of smooth, the optimization, it's pretty good. I literally did not drop below 100 frames the entire time playing on max settings at 2K resolution. Wow, who could have thought playing a game that's actually optimized in the current year rather than relying on the band-aid fix that is DLSS? That's crazy. Even with hordes of enemies shooting and orbital strikes raining down left and right, I could not tell you a single time that I noticed a dip in the frame rate. In fact, the only real bug that I noticed overall, literally the only one, was a single crash to desktop trying to equip something new in the main menu. I also got disconnected from a mission one time, but I think that was just regular online game server shenanigans, not any fault of the game itself. And finally, on the overall progression side of things, as far as I can tell, you gain the ability to unlock new weapons and armor as you progress either battle pass. The different weapons, helmets, armors, and capes each have stats associated with them. However, you cannot modify those stats in any way. What you see is what you get. So if you expected a system similar to Destiny or Borderlands where you get random stats on the gear that you can manipulate in some way, you'll be disappointed. That being said, the feeling of unlocking something new was definitely noticeable, as the real progression comes from upping the mission difficulty. Raising the difficulty does not, and I repeat, does not simply increase enemy HP. Hallelujah. Instead, it increases spawn frequency and amount, damage, and adds entirely new enemy types into the mix. This means that you will not run into the issue of things just being massive bullet sponges the farther you progress. I really hope I don't eat my words on that one. To wrap it all up, Helldivers 2 is a solid game at $40. It's just plagued with the modern gaming microtransaction practices. Take that for what you will. I'll be playing and gathering my thoughts more on Helldivers 2 over on my stream at twitch.tv/WoolieGaming, so consider stopping by. Other than that, thank you for watching.